wanted to make a video on tearing apart my GE Opal 2 ice maker. I've had it 13 months, of course, 13 months. And it started making basically a horrible screeching sound constantly. So I did the regular cleaning that is recommended. I ran the vinegar through it, let that sit in there for basically 24 hours. Still nothing, so I decided, heck, we're at 13 months out of warranty, might as well tear it apart and see what we can find. And after I got it torn apart, actually it's working pretty quietly now, but I wanted to make a video real quick and show how I tore it apart, because I couldn't really find a video on YouTube that showed it broken down so much. So this is kind of just a hasty video real quick on tearing it down and what I saw. I really didn't do much to fix it. I just kind of tore it apart, put it back together, and it's running great now. So it's kind of sitting here still. I got it up on the counter, drained into the sink after running that vinegar in. You see it's all kind of torn apart right now. Really, all you got to do for the back portion of it is remove these two screws. And once you do that, I just used a butter knife, essentially. Got in here and started popping it up. This top lid is just held in by all these little tabs here. And once you get all those popped up, the front part does kind of sit in at an angle, so you'll get all the back ones and sides popped up, which made me nervous because I thought this was going to break. It's really thin, but it all popped off really easy, and then just pull off the top. It's got this line here. I didn't separate any of that. I just set it to the side, okay, which then gave me a view of the top of the machine. Got to make a quick bad edit here. So actually, when you pop off the top of this, you'll have this lid over where that ice comes out, okay? So you'll have to take off the 1, 2, 3 screws, and then there's some tape, foam tape that's around it. So I just pried that up. Take off the screws, pop this off. Now you're left with this, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 screws. And then that will come off, and then you can take your foam off. So I had taken this off last night, totally forgot about it. This plastic cover that's on here. And again, like, this is the underneath of this cover. So you can see all that buildup that's getting on there. I'll wipe this off next before I reinstall it. But I forgot about that. It was sitting across the room. I don't think I forgot about anything else. And that noise was coming from down in here. So I slowly just decided, heck, I might as well start tearing it apart a little bit more. And plus I wanted to look into this water reservoir and see how dirty it was. I saw a lot of posts on the old reservoirs where it was over on this side and they were filled with mold, because it was basically above where that hot air was coming out. So I just decided to take it all apart. It really isn't difficult. There's a bunch of screws that come down the back. Once you get the back screws off, this back panel just pop right off. Okay. This side panel, same thing, had a couple screws here and had a screw here and up here and here. Undid those. And the bottom is basically clipped in. You don't really need to worry about taking it all off. There are little clips down there. Once you pull a couple of them, you can bend it a little bit. At this point, I mean, if you're going this deep into it, you probably aren't under warranty anyway. So you can risk bending this stainless steel just a little bit. Normally where it's sitting anyway up on the counter, I don't really see the sides of this. So I wasn't worried about causing too much damage to it. The reason I needed to do this, is because I actually need to move this water reservoir, because it sits up on here, and this piece from the water reservoir that the water comes out and runs across the track here sits above this clip here. So you gotta remove this. All essentially that's in here is you can pop the lid off, and once we get the lid off, it's got the sensor here, float valve sensor, that tells it if it's empty or not. I'm guessing this is a little UV sterilizing light right here for the water. I did open this. There was a little buildup. It wasn't bad, again, after 13 months in here, but I did wipe it all down. To get to these screws to remove this, though, can be a little bit of a pain. I have this little 90-degree attachment. This came in great. That way I didn't have to remove this whole panel. I could just pry it just a little bit. I got this in here. Pop the 2 screws loose. There are 2 more that hold the front in. They're down in this area, general area here. And once you do that, you just move it and get it out of the way so you can remove this portion. This is just 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Once you get those 4 screws off, this will pop right up. There's this foam piece here. That'll pull right off. And then this plate and this whole top portion is all one piece. There are three screws. I use this, I think it's a T25. Got those 3 off. Once you get those 3 off, that whole assembly will come off right there, that top part. All right. And I'm gonna flip it, try to not drop the screws. What I found somehow, and I don't know, maybe it happened when I pulled it off, I'm not sure, but this ring in here, and that's exactly why I have a towel in the sink, because the screws keep falling in there. This ring was out, and I don't know if that's what was causing the squeaking or not. I have no idea. All I know is I removed it. I just kind of pushed down on everything, got all this stuff seated again. Gave it all a good wipe down coming in here. And I'm not technical. I don't know what all these parts are necessarily called, but this is actually what's in the ice maker that's rotating. All right. And basically cutting the ice up here, as it's coming up, pushing the ice up. So it just sits down in here. And when this was turning is what I noticed was squeaking so bad. And I don't know if it was rubbing on top. Once you start screwing this down, it kind of pushes it down in here. It's got a spring on it. I wiped all this down and just basically put it right back in together again. I didn't really notice any damage anywhere on any of these plates or faces. But that was tearing it apart. I would also recommend, I still got to do it coming in here anyway, doing some regular maintenance, take a can of air, compressed air, and blow all this stuff out. All these fans. You can see there's quite a bit. There's still some dust in here. I got to clear all that out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all back together. I know it was running quietly. I got to make sure I'm still pushing ice through it. So I don't know. That seems to be it. It seems to just need to be reset after 13 months of basically constant use. We love this machine. We've taken it camping with us. We put it in the RV, take it camping. It's running all day long. I have it set to automatically turn off at night. No point in having it run at night. Come out in the morning, it's running again so we can make our drinks, heading off to work in the morning. It's a great machine. It just sucks that it goes down at 13 months. And it really wasn't worth me spending my time and probably money to get on the phone with GE and try to figure out what was wrong. I like to just tear things apart and take a look at how they're working. So hopefully that helps somebody out. It's not that big of a deal taking it apart. Putting it back together is just as easy. I would recommend at least popping that top off maybe every few months. I would say at least yearly. If you're not running the vinegar through there to clean all the system out, I would definitely be popping this off. And you don't got to go this deep into it. All you got to do is take this top panel off and then pop the top of this off and look down in here and clear this out because it was nasty. Also, if you're just leaving it hooked up and you haven't dumped it out lately, I'm telling you, turn this machine off, put your hoses down into a sink and drain it. We had so much junk coming out of there. I mean, I'm ordering filters. We never ran a filter in it. I'll be running filters from now on. Because it was just gross. I don't know if any of that nasty stuff was getting into the ice. I'm sure it was. But I would definitely run a filter, and I would definitely break this down. I'll probably just be normally doing that every 6 months. Again, it wasn't that bad on this model. But that little bit of junk that's in here, I mean, I don't want the family eating that. Heck, my kids snack on this ice every night. I mean, that's their treat. So hope that helps somebody. Yeah, thanks. And it's been running for a few minutes now. Well, I guess probably about a half hour. There we go. Back to producing ice. I'll throw away the next couple batches of ice because of the run that vinegar through, but all fixed up. And water filters are on order.